The following is a presentation of The Day.
On a chilly night on the campus of Montville High School, championship week in the ECC, and on game day continues with the Division I girls soccer final between the number 1 seeded Waterford Lancers and the number 2 seed NFA Wildcats, a battle of the best, and it's all live on game day. Game day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. All that's good begins with a smile, and they have solutions for all your dental needs. When you visit their office, your smile is their top priority. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you the personalized dental care that you deserve, so visit waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the great Colin Delaney, coach. We are in for a treat. Number 1 versus number 2. The one time they played this year, it was a double overtime tie. Not tonight. Something's going to give. We're going to crown a champion to join Lyman Memorial, the champions of Division II, and this should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure, Case. I mean, we're going to see, two big-time teams playing the biggest stage this season in what should be an awesome match to watch.
Lot of star power in this game. Waterford has been the best team all year long. An early blemish to Bacon Academy, 1-0, their only loss on the year. Ties to NFA and Morgan, and that is it. Waterford got here in an exciting 1-0 victory over a very game Woodstock team who had beaten Bacon Academy to get to the semis. 4-3 in PKs. That is as good as it gets on the other side. NFA, 12-2-2. Early tie to Bacon Academy. Again, a very good Bacon Academy girls team. A early loss 2-1 to East Lyme, and then a 3-1 loss out of conference to Massac before NFA turned it on. Nothing but W's down the stretch. 8 straight for the Wildcats, including a 3-0 shutout in the semifinals against East Lyme. And when you're talking the Wildcats, you're going to see some great talent out there, led by Jordan Fabry, who is a very talented player. We've seen her on the grade 8, but there's going to be a lot of names mentioned on both sides, including Waterford. There's star power everywhere for these two teams.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you have, a lot of quality players, a lot of dangerous players, really stout defensive players across the board, and really look at their records. I mean, it speaks for themselves. I mean, both teams pretty stingy in the back end. NFA 50 goals for, 14 goals against. Waterford 53 goals for, only 6 goals against. So pretty similar situation for both teams here. Should be a really interesting match and really what we hoped for in this ECC final.
As is always the case, keep our eyes on the keepers. A pair of juniors for Waterford, Victoria Sturm, for NFA, Ava Bonig. And in this game where goals are at a premium, those two keepers are going to have to do something big at some point during the ballgame.
In similar style in terms of leadership and overall classes, you got 5 seniors on the Waterford side, 4 seniors on the NFA side. Pretty balanced attack through their junior class, and even some youngins. You've got the likes of the freshmen, Anna Gerard, and of course some young players on the sophomore side for NFA. So it should be an interesting situation where a combination of some youth and some veteran leadership on both sides of the ball.
Waterford, we've called their names so many times this year during the grade 8. Cameron Dickinson, Paige Jessic. We've seen Charlotte Jessic. We've seen so many of the Waterford players. Fabry, Birchman on the other side, Danowitz. The grade 8 has been littered with plays from these two teams, and we expect some highlight plays here tonight in the finals.
Yeah, Danowitz coming off of a 2-goal effort against East Lyme in the semifinal under the rainy skies on the NFA campus. A big difference in that game against a pretty talented East Lyme squad.
On the other side of things, Waterford getting to the finals without one of its premier players who has been injured for quite some time. Colin, you were talking a little bit about Amelia Podeswa, the sprained ankle suffered while giving one of her patented flip throws earlier in the season, and they've come all the way to the finals without a prominent piece.
Yeah, she's a tremendous athlete, multi-sport athlete, big part of their attack.
And right off the rip, a beautiful ball to the far post, and we're getting a late whistle. The keeper, Bonig, put her arms up like, hey, that's offsides, but she came out and made the save.
Yeah, some early action here for sure. As I was saying, big part of their attack, but also really stout defensively. Kind of a big part of their team through and through. An engine, strong player in her own right, really solid on the ball. Comes from a great pedigree of athletes in the town of Waterford.
So far, Waterford has maintained most possession. NFA, as you said, very strong physical team, likes to play very direct. Waterford, much more ground-based.
Yeah, we're going to see a similar situation in terms of styles in our last game. We had Lyman, which is more of a direct style of attack, pretty quick and transitional, whereas, Montville was much more deliberate and possession-based. We'll see a lot of that today. Waterford more of that deliberate possession, play the way you face kind of action, moves the ball fairly, quick in comparison to a Montville, but certainly, talented. And then you have, likes of NFA, which is very physical, very direct, kind of more of a blue-collar, bring your lunch pail style of attack, and it's worked really well for them all season long.
I should tell you that I did ask Coach at the end of the Lyman game the question that you brought up about his defense, and he said that there was a year where Lyman went undefeated and did not give up a goal the entire regular season. He said, but after that group, this was as talented as any. He said, we don't keep stats. He said that his keeper knows how many shutouts, but he doesn't. But he also said, and this was interesting as it relates to this game, he said that Montville was the best team they played all year at possessing the ball. He said they were supremely talented at keeping possession of the ball and playing it along the ground better than almost any team they see. And so that was a message at halftime about them trying to, take a little bit more of the possession away from Montville. So, those questions and our observations were spot on. In this game, I think it's a similar thing. Waterford's going to want to possess the ball longer than NFA. NFA more likely to see some more, distance shots over the top. And Waterford, similar to Montville, if you get them in a set play, they are very, very dangerous.
No, for sure. I think the difference between Montville and Waterford is that, both very good possession.
Here's a cross in front, headed out, and Waterford will clear.
But in general, what Montville is lacking that Waterford has is that scoring power, right? So, Montville at times can kind of go dormant with the scoring situation, but can just possess the heck out of the ball. Whereas Waterford can possess the heck out of the ball and score goals. Once again, to their total of 53 goals for on the season and only 6 against. So that's the big difference maker. And once again, you don't win matches on possession alone. You have to put the ball in the back of the net.
Waddington for Waterford fights through, plays it back to the defense. And up ahead it comes to Dickinson. Nice step in by NFA's Gislesen. And we have a Lancer on the turf, so they will attend, see how she is.
Yeah, that was a tough 50-50 ball. You had a player coming through trying to get a foot on it. NFA player steps up, and as we know, NFA does not shy away from, that stout defense. They did a nice job of keeping that ball in front, and unfortunately, a little bit of a collision.
Gonna walk it off. That's always tough on the ankle when you get that ball. That looks like Paige Jessic walking it off for Waterford.
And in this cold weather, as we mentioned in that last game, and it's probably a little bit colder now with the sun setting and the wind picking up a bit. Sometimes those things you walk off a little bit more gingerly than you would maybe in a 72 and sunny degree game.
NFA playing it deep, running on and not able to get there in time. Chloe Green trying to get there for the Wildcats.
And that's going to be one of NFA's, bread and butter here. Their MO is can they play that ball forward? Can they look to, put the ball on the flanks and, look to play counterattacks, play it wide, spread the teams out, and then deliver balls in dangerous spots. So you can see a lot of those balls down the left and right side of the field to find some opportunities.
Fabry had it, dumps it to Green, and just a little too strong. It'll be a Waterford throw.
And as we mentioned, Jordan Fabry is lethal on set pieces. I think she's got 9 goals out of the season, and 7 of them coming on set pieces, either where she delivers the ball in the back of the net herself.
Here she is there, takes a chance. Good job by Waterford stepping in, and then Fabry using her head, takes it off the dome. It'll be a Waterford kick, goal kick. we've seen these two teams operate very differently off the set pieces. We've seen Fabry, Birchman, both long distance goals from 30 and 40 yards. We must have seen 6 Waterford corner kick goals. Waterford very good off the corner kick. Dickinson in particular has been very good, so have the Jessicks. We've seen Waterford one of the most potent corner kick teams we've seen. So, again, you're right. Whoever has an early opportunity, as Green lets one rip, and it sails just over the top. Sturm was in position, but that was a ripped shot from Chloe Green.
Yeah, number 22, Chloe Green, an absolute rocket from probably about 20, 25 yards out. You know, that ball maybe to the far post could find its way in the back there. You know, there's a lot of scoring threats on this NFA team. There's not one, like, you know, main scorer. Danowitz, 10 goals. Green, 10 goals. Bowles, 8 goals. Fabry, 9 goals. I mean, they can really score in bunches, but they don't rely on one person, which is kind of the epitome of a good team. And really, they've been dangerous up and down the field.
They have not scored fewer than 2 goals in the last 5 games. On the other side of things, Waterford has not given up but 1 goal to Killingly in the victory. So, offense-defense battle here. NFA, if you look at their last 5 games, you know, they gave up 0, 2-1, 0, 0, 0. So they're starting to lock it down a little bit defensively as well.
Yeah, and both with, you know, similar winning streaks, you know, 8 and 9, you know, game winning streaks or undefeated streaks, you know, heading into this tournament.
NFA trying to get it, and right there, Sturm on her line. And now Waterford looking to transition. Play through the middle. Nice touch by Dickinson. Now back through the defensive side. It goes to Jessic.
Yeah, we got 2 really good goalkeepers too, Case, in this matchup. You know, Sturm, really athletic, quick, good range. You know, really good in those low balls, can get to those low balls on dives. You know, someone that they rely on, you know, heavily in the back. Obviously, hasn't had a ton of, you know, tests this season, but someone that, if the need arises, she's definitely a solid contributor back there. You know, whereas on the other side, you know, Boenig, you know, solid goalkeeper. You know, also hasn't been tested as much, but certainly, you know, can come up with some big saves in tough spots. You know, great in the air and awesome soccer IQ.
It would not surprise me if this game ended up in overtime for sure. And it wouldn't surprise me if we played multiple overtimes. These two teams are that evenly matched, as evidenced by their 1-1 tie in double overtime in their only matchup.
Yeah, you know, I think you're going to see some ebb and flow too, right? I think you're going to see some times where one team dominates possession over the other and vice versa. And really I think it's going to come down to, you know, who bends a little bit more, you know, and potentially breaks and leading to a goal. But, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if you had some kind of a 1-1, 0-0, you know, tie situation going into extras. But you never know. These big games are always, you know, an interesting bunch.
What is the overtimes / you know, the rules in the championship games here? Is it 2 overtimes and then PKs in the finals as well?
Yeah, that's typically what they do. I'm not sure if they changed the bylaws in ECC. I know they changed it for the regular season where, you have the golden goal for overtime and so on. For the championship, I would imagine they abide by the same rules. You know, 2 10s, golden goal, and then you go into penalties. It used to be they followed the state rules where it was silver goal, you play it out regardless, and then you kind of go from there.
Danowitz, nice slide tackle, and it'll result in a throw for NFA. Winton will take the throw. Tosses it on a flick from Danowitz. Out of bounds it goes, and it'll be a goal kick for Waterford, as the two teams sort of feel each other out here in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, NFA for the most part has kind of had the bulk of the chances in terms of, you know, possession in their attacking half. Waterford trying to get their legs underneath them to get the ball forward. NFA is just right now, a little quicker to the ball, which is creating more opportunities to keep that ball.
Unlike the first game of the night, or of the day as it turned out, where Lyman was a definitive favorite and had beaten Montville twice during the regular season, these two teams could both make the case for being the best team in the conference, despite the 1 and 2, NFA being the 2. Their losses to East Lyme and their other loss out of conference to Massac. So each of them lost only one game in conference, and they tied each other in a double overtime thriller. So I think it's really, fair that either of these two teams would feel very confident tonight going into this game. Waterford will have a kick at the 50. Now outside it goes. NFA does such a nice job clearing.
Waterford's the kind of team, if they can keep this ball in this half, they can kind of get stuck in and move the ball around and try to find some opportunities. They're good enough to keep that ball at their feet. A lot of talent, a lot of good possession on the Waterford side.
Waterford throw. Smart play, letting it go out. And it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, it's as they say, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. We could be the Cotton and Pepper of sports broadcasting. Just saying.
I could definitely, I could drop some Cotton knowledge on you. I could certainly say that it's better than the World Series, the World Cup, and World War III combined. I do like contrasting styles when there's equal talent. Sometimes contrasting styles means David and Goliath. I like that these two teams are both very good at what they do. And so you've got two talented teams playing differently. I think that's got a nice aesthetic to it.
Well, it's an interesting, situation. NFA is giving a lot of respect to Waterford today. If you look at their back, they're actually playing 5 at the back. Flat 4 with a sweeper, and then they have, that kind of morphs into like a 4-3-3 in the attack. So it's almost like a 5, 2-3 sometimes, as they move forward. But you can see the 5 at the back with the flat 4 and the sweeper trying to give some respect to, that Waterford attack, which can be potent at times. And still, despite that, they're still keeping the ball in their attacking half for the most part.
I think NFA really is just waiting for a chance for one of their big offensive players to have a look. And I think Waterford is taking its time, almost waiting for their chance at a set piece. I really think the first time you see a corner or a free kick from, inside the 30, you're going to see Waterford make an effort to make something happen. Nicely done. Tucker just turned and cleared. It'll be a throw from Waterford on the side.
Well, and you see a contrast in Waterford's own style right there. Waterford's smart. You can't, it can't be death by 1,000 paper cuts where it's just possession. Like, Montville tried to pull that off in the last game. You got to mix in some direct balls occasionally to keep NFA on their toes. And once again, to NFA's credit, they have some players a little deeper to avoid that situation.
And there's going to be our first corner for Waterford. They play short. Ball goes far post, running on, and an opportunity far post was there. Putting it back in and wide on goal.
And there's that dangerous set piece from Waterford. That's a great ball to the far post. I mean, if anyone's there, that ball's an easy goal. Header, chest, thigh, whatever it takes. I mean, that was a fantastic ball to the far post. Had the keeper beat to the weak side. Just couldn't find a way to finish.
Waddington is crashing. The ball just goes past her as well. If she's 5 yards, deeper or delayed, she's right there in spot. That's a very dangerous play and a very good start for Waterford off of its first corner. You see why they're so dangerous. Lacey bangs it out of bounds off Waterford, and there will be the throw.
Yeah, even on the counter here, Waterford's just stretching 1, maybe 2, and NFA is keeping 3 or 4 back there at all times, looking for that, prevent defense on a counter.
Fabry with a beautiful ball to Lacey. Lacey couldn't quite get there, slides, and goal kick for Waterford.
Only way this 5 at the back works is if you really transition well forward and back together as a team, because otherwise you're going to get killed in the midfield with lack of numbers, but they're relying a lot.
There's Fabry, and it just sails high. And that's the shot that I think NFA is going to be very content with in the early part of the game anyway. 25, of the football field. So 30 yards out, 35 yards out. And yeah, it's outside the 18, but she's so dangerous from there. That's going to be a one-touch and fire every chance she gets.
Yeah, and she's a left-footed player, and some players often forget about that. Those exist, and she can rock a ball.
She just banged Waddington out of the way, took the ball, and let it fly, all legal. And that's, you can see, you talked about the physicality of Jordan Fabry.
Yeah, and I think that's, to my point earlier, they rely a lot on her in the midfield, and that's how they can play 5 at the back, is the leadership of their sole captain in Jordan Fabry, along with her just ability. She's just a great soccer IQ, knows where to be, knows where to push forward when to drop off, and a big-time leader for the team.
Nice defensive stop. Wildcats. Kisnell. Good touch outside by Siosi. Now Jessic. Jessic turns, looks for Waddington, and Waterford keeping possession. And we're going to get a whistle, and it'll be a kick for NFA. Kisnell. Puts it in the middle. Waterford whiffs, but nobody running on for NFA, so Waddington turns and loses it off her foot. The throw coming in from Winton.
You can just see the athleticism of both teams here as this ball is just pinging back and forth and winning balls in the air and taking off the chest, and a lot of transition and really a lot of fitness involved in this back and forth contest, which is not typical of both teams.
That was just 4 touches with the ball in the air and it never touched the ground. Fabry in space. She's going to carry, turns, uses the right, waiting for a spot, puts it out to her teammate. One stop, and nice job by Waterford.
Yeah, Waterford doing a nice job despite the quick transitions from NFA, getting numbers behind the ball as fast as they can to stop this attack and some of these shots. You don't want to put that ball on some of these NFA players' foot from 20, 25 yards out.
Nice move from Lacey. Cuts it back to her right foot. Sends it in, and Waterford there defensively. Now Waterford looking to transition.
Yeah, those diagonal balls, NFA likes to get them out wide and whip those balls on angles. Those are the hardest balls for defenders to defend. Those straight-on balls are a lot easier to defend. Those balls on angles, which require, some pressure and cover, are much more difficult to defend. And that's really what NFA wants to do, get that ball wide and whip those balls in.
Waterford trying to go diagonally, and NFA very stout. Waterford will have the throw on the near side. Wiseman will throw it in, and she'll leave it off for her teammate.
Now you see they get the 5 back there, Case, the back 4, and then the sweeper, and then they're bringing 4 back in the midfield, leaving them 1 sole forward up top here. Then as they transition, you'll see the outside midfielders, that 7-11 position, kind of push forward and join them more of like a 4-3-3 or 5-2 situation.
We'll have a throw, Waterford on the near side.
Yeah, if anything can maintain this kind of attack and possession with 5 at the back, that's going to be a tough defense to beat.
Ball on the far post. There's a player. Shot. Save! Boning! The whistle was blown off sides. That's twice now she's made brilliant saves, only to have them waved off because of offsides calls.
Yeah, the first player that the ball missed out was the offsides, made a play on it. The second player came from an onside position, and had that ball gotten through at the first player, it would have been a play on. But that first player called offsides by the assistant referee over here on the side.
Danowitz puts it out wide, and that's going to be too strong, and it'll be a goal kick for the Lancers.
So more than halfway through this first half, Case, you're looking at a lot of back and forth, no real big time chances just yet. Your prediction might come true.
I just see these two teams as so even. And I feel like the NFA defense has improved dramatically in the last 4 or 5 games of the year.
No doubt. And it's what's always intriguing, what's great about soccer is they're so even despite just different styles of play, I mean, not to say that NFA is not a possession team, because they are, but they do like that direct style of soccer, and they try to play quick. Where I think, Waterford is a little bit more play the way you face, more methodical and surgical with their passing.
Back it goes. Birchman for NFA. Sends it in. Now Danowitz 1 step late. Back it goes. Danowitz flicks it out to herself. Good defense from Waterford. Stepping in was Siosi.
We've seen a lot of back and forth balls in the air. What I would like to see is, what's that player doing off the ball, right? So that first ball that goes in, it's off a header or a chested ball. What players are working off the ball to create opportunities? Because if you're just watching the ball go back and forth, it becomes a ping pong match. Can we see players on both sides of the ball, NFA and Waterford? What are we doing off the ball as that ball is played back and forth to create opportunities?
NFA sends it back, but 5 Lancer defenders within range of the ball. Sturm picks it up, and she'll go with a punt.
And that's been kind of the bread and butter, I think, of Waterford watching this season, is their off-the-ball movement is great when the ball's on the floor. Can we do the same thing with the ball in the air? Because they're really kind of ticky-tacky on the floor, and they have great, moving off the ball to create opportunities, but they got to get that ball a little further forward to create those opportunities to get some goal-scoring chances.
You have a feeling that this could be the kind of game where first team to get a real legit scoring chance, that could be all the difference. This game, 1 goal in this game is like 3.
Well, when you look at both teams right now, they're not playing conservative, but they're still playing smart, where they're not trying to give up too much to give either team that goal, right? They understand, like you just mentioned, that 1 goal is huge, and that could be the difference maker, whether it's now or it's 20 minutes from now. So I think they're being really smart and respectful of each other as really good opponents to make sure that they don't give up that first goal.
This, of course, day 1 of championship week in the ECC. Tomorrow we'll be at Ledyard High School for the Division II and Division I boys finals. Shot And a goal! There it is, the first one from Audrey Lacey. The junior had a step and popped it over the top of Sturm. 1-0 Wildcats.
Fantastic finish. I mean, just bent around, kind of from the far post into that upper right 90 side. Just an incredible finish. Played it with confidence. You know, that deft touch we talked about, and a great finish for NFA to put them up 1-0 here in the first half.
Goal for NFA, number 19, Haley Young.
Let's see how Waterford responds, and if NFA changes its tactics at all.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see too much change right now, Case, in the first half. I think, you know, NFA realizes they're getting the lion's share of chances and possession in the attacking end, and that Waterford really needs to kind of step up to try to be first with some of those balls. You know, both teams are playing good soccer, but I think it comes down to who's first to the ball, who can bring it down to their feet and create some opportunities. I mean, NFA definitely had more chances outside the 18 there. And Waterford's a super talented group. They're not going to lay down just 1-0 here. They're going to battle back, and I wouldn't be surprised if they can find an equalizer at some point.
I think I'm going to have to make a mea culpa here, as I've been calling this number right here. That's 19, Haley Young. It is not 18, Audrey Lacey. That goal is Haley Young, number 19. And that's just a function of my not being able to read the back of the NFA jersey. So I'm going to get confirmation from you or from Peter Wappy that is in fact 19 and not 18.
Yeah, I tell you what, even despite being blue jerseys, these numbers are kind of so thin it's hard to see.
19, NFA, that is 19, Haley Young. So my apologies to Haley Young. I've been calling you Audrey Lacey, and in fact, that was your goal, Haley Young. Congratulations, 1-0 NFA on the goal from Young. Free kick coming here for NFA. Quisnell. Got a shoe tie going on at the 20.
Football lines are always a nice function when it comes down to walking off distance on set pieces.
Far post. Waterford does a nice job, but then Fabry comes and bangs it just wide right of the goal post, and it'll be a goal kick for Waterford.
Yeah, nice ball in there. You want those balls just inside the 18, just so you can cause those defenders to turn their back on the ball and kind of move towards their own goal. Nice ball there, but great defending by by Waterford to get that ball back out. And just a tough touch by Fabry, knocking that ball over the crossbar.
Winton in a nice battle for the ball. Gets it over to Young. Young keeps it strong. Down it goes to Chloe Green, and just a little too strong for Green. Goal kick for the Lancers, as we're down under 11 minutes here in the first half. 1-0 NFA on a Haley Young goal. Fabry pops it, looking for Green. Sturm comes off her line, corrals it for the Lancers.
Waterford's got to try to find a way here in the midfield to kind of try to win the midfield and try to bring the ball forward here, because really, you know, with 5 at the back for NFA, there should be some space in the midfield for Waterford to keep that ball moving and create some chances. They're having a hard time finding some space, I think, just because of the work ethic of NFA.
Bonig comes off her line, intercepts the pass. Good spatial awareness from Ava Bonig. Big leg, big punt. Crosses midfield, and Green comes down with it for NFA. Spins away from 2 defenders, looking for Young, and just too strong out of the run of Young.
Yeah, great job by Chloe Green to bring that ball down under pressure, 2 or 3 players in her back, turn and then even distribute that ball wide. That's solid soccer with incredible body control and ball control. And if you notice, Casey, every ball in those spaces, NFA just always first those balls. They just have this instinctual situation to not react, to anticipate, and they get to these balls quick. It's almost like they're playing with 12 players in the field.
Jessic turns, pops it out. Dickinson plays it back. Now through the midfield it goes. There's a steal, and Waterford recovers. Bowles had stolen it for NFA, but Lancers recover. Nothing there. NFA will have the throw as we are down to 8 minutes and change here in the first half. NFA on top 1-0.
And credit to Waterford. They are trying to really create some opportunities, some good combination play through the midfield. They're just having a hard time trying to find that last ditch pass to find those holes in the back end to create some opportunities.
There's the open midfield. Dickinson, first one to get there for Waterford. And I would have liked to have seen her carry that a little bit, but...
Yeah, Cameron's got space and time there, and certainly she's someone with some pace. So, can she take some more touches and create some more opportunities where players commit to her, and which opens up some opportunities for players around her? She's a player that can have a big impact if she takes it upon herself to be a little bit more selfish in those positions.
Big ball from Tucker, but Sturm is there. Fabry settles, loses it to Dickinson. Tiven with a nice touch.
Another athletic family in their own right, the Tiven family.
Good hustle by Birchman, but that will result in a corner for Waterford. So Dickinson standing back with Siosi. Check that. Siosi, far post, well defended by NFA.
Yeah, good ball across the box. Just the outside player kind of overcommitted before they could get the head in the ball there, but certainly they had first crack at it. Waterford is good on their set pieces. They have a lot of tricks in their bag, and they'll play it quick. They'll have play set up in advance. So really, they're going to be well versed in what to do in those situations. You saw 2 players out there wide to begin with, and they kind of read the defense and then decided to change things up a bit and play that ball wide. So don't be surprised if Waterford finds a way to be super dangerous.
Here's a through ball, just a little bit too strong. Bonig comes off the line and grabs it. You mentioned Sadie Tiven, her father, who is a fabulous golfer and one of the best officials in professional basketball. I feel bad for him because when he does get a chance to play golf, all anyone wants to do is ask him probing questions about inside the NBA stuff. What's Giannis really like? I'm like, just once, I'm sure he would like to just be able to play. But he is as gracious as they come. What a good guy Josh Tiven is.
Yeah, probably one of the nicest guys I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, gracious doesn't do enough justice. He's just a great guy, always happy to see people, personable. And I'm sure in the back of his mind he probably gets tired of it, but you never could tell with the way he conducts himself.
Well, I won't drop names, but Josh came to play at Great Neck Country Club this summer, and I was talking with him. And every time he sees me, he talks about game day with such reverence and appreciation, which is fabulous. Turn, shot, but Bonig there. And he told me who was coming down to play with him. Without dropping a name, I will simply say that the person is a professional NBA play-by-play guy that everyone out there would know. And he said to me, "Oh, you should meet him. You guys are peers." And I was like, that's so nice of you to say. I mean, that is really sweet. But that's the kind, and he meant it sincerely. Like, that's the kind of guy Josh is. Like, oh, you guys should talk because, when he's talking with Kristaps Porzingis and with Julius Randle, I'm talking with you.
What are you trying to say, Case?
That I got the better gig.
Well, I think he's not being kind, Casey. You've been doing this a long time, and certainly you are well respected in this, even if it's not at the professional level. So kudos to you on that respect you received from Mr. Tiven.
Well, you and I have known him a very long time. Both of our wives were part of that teaching circle at Tile Middle School that if you look now has generated all kinds of administrators and high quality professionals. Speaking of high quality, I want to really, really credit the NFA defense. We talk so much about Waterford's defense and how NFA is a high-scoring team and all that. 3 straight shutouts to finish the year for NFA, and defensively they look very comfortable. And Leah Birchman and company really doing a great job.
No, and I would agree with that. But NFA is a very well-coached crew. The likes of Coach Shannon and Coach Fabry, they do a great job, and they really put out a system that works with the team they're playing against. So they're playing 5 at the back. That's not something they play every single day. They're doing that out of respect for what Waterford brings to the table. If they're playing a team where they know they get more players forward, they might play 4 at the back or 4-3-3. So they've tried all different kinds of things. They have a lot of tools in that toolbox depending on who they're playing on a given day.
We have an injured player on the field, so we're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
As junior Paige Jessic heads off the pitch for Waterford with 3:15 remaining here in the first half, 1-0 NFA on top.
Which so far, Casey's been really kind of an even match. I mean, you give probably a slight edge to NFA in terms of time of possession in their attacking half, but really both teams have done a nice job of creating some opportunities. I would say more so Waterford on some set pieces and corner kicks. But in general, it really could be either way. I wouldn't be surprised if the game was tied or if even Waterford was ahead. But in general, pretty even match here in this, Division I ECC final.
Well, I think that you hit it spot on. This is very evenly matched. But you mentioned the shape and the formation that NFA is playing with the extra, person back. That 1-0 lead is huge for them, because they can not have to worry quite as much. They can take more chances over the top offensively and rely on that defense with the extra person back there, which I think is... So, had it been 0-0, they'd still be doing that. But 1-0, it makes that, an even more comfortable situation for them.
Yeah, I think it gets neutralized, however, on a set piece, right? So you get a corner kick or a set piece, then that sweeper back gets neutralized because you want to keep that sweeper back forward to keep those players, onside, so that you can't have them sit back extra 10 yards because you're going to give them more space to play. So that shape becomes more neutralized on a set piece, which, once we know, is kind of a big part of Waterford's attack.
Fabry goes through looking for Green, and that'll roll through for a goal kick.
Yeah, and you see Jordan Fabry kind of tapping his chest, hey, that's my bad on me. It is, but it's a great idea. A little less pace, that's a great ball in behind. You want players to be able to run in behind the defense like that and cause those back players to run towards their own goal.
I think when you have a great player like Fabry, the temptation is often to play to her, when in fact playing through her is the most effective way. And I am quoting, of course, Jamie from Ted Lasso when he said, don't play to me, play through me. Because she is, as much as we think of her as that powerful leg and scorer, she's a great distributor. And she can shed off people. She can survey the field. I've seen, 3 times now, right, where she's gone for that through ball. She's put it there a couple times. But as soon as Waterford cheats, she's going to turn and let one rip. So that's that dynamic kind of player that Fabry is.
Well, she's most effective in that, holding center midfield role, because she can see the entire field, almost like a catcher in baseball, and distribute the ball kind of as needed. And her soccer IQ is probably one of the best in the conference, if not the best. And then for her club team, to her credit, she plays center back. So she has that opportunity to see the whole field, and she does a great job with distributing. She's not a forward by trade. She's more of a coach on the field and the motor that runs this team.
Where's she going to, where's her position in college?
I think because she's so strong and physical, I would see her as a center back. She's not a player that's going to be an outside back that's overlapping on the flanks. She's definitely a down the spine player, a 6 or 8, holding center midfield kind of player, or even a center back.
We're almost to the end of the first half. 1-0 NFA on top. We're going to want you to stay tuned at halftime for all kinds of features here on Game Day. We'll be back with second half action. This one's got a chance to be special. We're at halftime, 1-0 NFA over Waterford. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. It's time for Game Day's Great 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, New London running back Kintrell Witherspoon DeSources. 33 yards, breaking tackles. DeSources got horses, and he's in the end zone for the Whalers. At number 7, TRC linebacker Brian Lowe. Against Cheney Tech, scoops up the fumble, and he goes, low. Into the end zone, touchdown. Hey, how about a free kick from Old Lime's Kate Walsh? Nothing free about this. It's costly, upper shelf goal. It's never too early for some basketball. Hey, Tyler Mangual to Amari Marshall, thunder. One day, I'd like to be Soren Reef. I'd like to take the third snap of the game and go 55 yards as one of my 7 touchdowns. My 431 yards rushing. Reef is a beast. How about the most heads-up play of the week? I'm stopped. Brady Summit, maybe. Let me pitch it back to my quarterback. Jax Higgins says, I'm off to the races, and maybe I'm going to get bumped out here for 2, but we're going to score on the next play. Great play by the Lancers. Sometimes it just feels like you're cursed. Jamel Curse, running back Ledgerd, breaks it outside against Bacon Academy, shows the wheels, cuts it back inside for the 86-yard touchdown run. Colonels win. But at number 1, nothing better than a senior on senior night. Fitch Boys Soccer senior David Hogetto with the gorgeous cross to fellow senior Tate Gordon with the header from way downtown, and a 3-1 win for the Falcons. That's your grade 8. Hey, send us your plays. Maybe you'll get next week's grade 8.
Championship hardware on the line Thursday afternoon at the Norwich golf course. 6-time champions East Lyme looking to defend their ECC cross-country title. Plenty of talented runners in the field looking to dethrone the Vikings.
We are from St. Bernard's and no one can be prouder, and if you cannot hear us, we'll shout a little louder.
A beautiful sunny afternoon in Norwich with a light breeze. Last year's individual champ, Waterford Jr. Avery May, is out to the front of the pack at the start, along with Lyman Memorial senior Hazel DeLucia, who finished 5th last year. Fall colors starting to pop out on the golf course, and 4 minutes in, looks like it's shaping up to be a 2-person race, with DeLucia and Mays already putting considerable distance on the field.
I was just really happy to be here. I was really sick last year, so this just felt like a redemption race, and I knew I had to get out fast, and I just really was going to get out and see what I could do, and just kind of redeem myself from last year.
At the 6-minute mark, DeLucia makes her move, heading up the notorious long hill on the golf course's 4th fairway, starting to put some separation between herself and Mays.
I did so many hills this summer, simply just to prepare for this race. Long hills, short hills, I needed to be ready, because this hill ate me up last year, and I was going to be ready for that this year.
Those hill workouts seem to have paid off as DeLucia charges up one of the last inclines on the course, well ahead of the rest of the field. DeLucia coming down the stretch all by herself to the finish line.
When you crossed the finish line, it looked like you were a little overcome. Is that right, or not?
Like I said, I was sick last year, and I just, to prove to myself that I could do this, it felt really, really good.
Waiting at the finish line was mom, Stephanie Johnson DeLucia, the Class LL champion in 1992 and a member of NFA's 1995 New England championship team, but who never won the ECC title.
My mom was one of the most amazing runners I've ever known. I'm so lucky that she's my mom, and I thank her every day for all the advice she gives me. She was just, it doesn't matter if she won ECCs or not, she was the best runner I've ever met.
Mays finished 2nd.
Great job, Waterford, great job.
Stonington's Peyton Vanderstreet took 3rd.
Great job.
Ledyard's Ella Stevenson finished 6th with teammates Kate Littler in 9th and Josephine Withbrow in 10th, clinching the Colonel's first team title since 1989.
I came into it knowing we were the stronger team, but actually having to, everybody's got to do their job on race day, and everybody's got to have a good day, and anything can happen during a race, and you can only control what you can control. So I was nervous, of course, and everybody else was, but I knew we could do it, and we did.
109 runners lining up for the ECC Boys Cross Country Championship Thursday at the Norwich Golf Course. And with last year's 2 top finishers graduating, we were guaranteed a new individual champ. East Lyme, the favorites to win their 6th straight team title, but their top returning runner, last year's 3rd place finisher Sean McCauley, was a question mark after missing time with an ankle injury.
He ran 2 races early on, and they were pretty conservative, and then he had the Achilles, which, it wasn't anything super major, but we're always going to be cautious with that. And so he just started training again about, maybe 10 days ago, 12 days ago, and really training.
Early on, McCauley, part of a 3-person lead pack, along with Woodstock Academy's Christian Menounos and Griswold's Tyson LaBelle.
I knew it would be a very fast race because it's Christian and Tyson, very, very talented people. And going into this race, I had no idea what my plan was. I was just gonna base it off of who did what and who started out fast, who didn't.
He's probably the most talented distance runner I've ever coached, and he just loves it. And I think he has a tremendous amount of trust in himself and in the program. So I think that that kind of shone through today.
That leading trio staying tightly grouped through the first 2 miles, waiting to see who would try to make a move first. Up the hill and into the home stretch, it was Macaulay deciding to go for it.
I was just trying to wait, just keep waiting and waiting until I thought it was the right time to go. And I went, and once you go like that, you can't turn back. You can't, you just gotta go, you know? So that's what I did. Just try to just finish strong.
Macaulay was first across the line, one of 5 East Line runners in the top 10, leaving no doubt about the team championship. The 6th straight for the Vikings.
3 years ago when Luke Anthony was a senior, there was a huge shift in the program of these kids that they wanted to be runners. They didn't want to just do this as an after-school activity. You know, they wanted to run in college and they wanted to run post-collegiately, and they wanted to learn about, you know, workouts and training. And I think when you put that mindset together with a group that's obviously very talented, you can have a lot of fun.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Canone Oharu. Old Lyme girls soccer versus Valley with the rainbow goal. 2-1 win for the Wildcats. At number 7, Francisco Alvarado, Wyndham freshman quarterback, takes off against Waterford, and, well, let me make you miss right here, and whoop, let me go there, and I'll drag you into the end zone. Touchdown, Whippets win, 27-7. What do you do when it's 3rd and long? You hand it to Kincaid Rubino. Griswold football speed, stiff arm, and off we go into the wild blue yonder. Touchdown, Griswold. Hey, let's bend it like Fabry. That's the name of the new movie, because that is sick. Bends it from the touchline, first of her 2 goals. Griffin Chapel, NFA boys soccer versus Bacon Academy, down 2-1, 19 seconds left, and a missile on the free kick. Well, how about Trent Pesci? Free kick? How about the PK save? Stud time for Killingly. On a rainy Saturday afternoon, Bacon Academy played Montville in the Mud Bowl, and he shall be crowned king. Jace King. Opening kickoff, and he gone. Soon they were called the Studs in the Mud. 61-0 Bobcats. But at number 1, Rosie Turbot, Lyman Hall girls soccer free kick 60 yards away. I can't reach, so let me use the bounce. Oh, how'd that get into the net? Those are our grade 8. Submit your clips, and maybe you can make next week's.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
We're back, second half about to start. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com, and Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. All that's good begins with a smile. Visit their office and your smile becomes their top priority. They got a team for you. And they're going to provide you the absolute best personalized dental care, everything you deserve, so you want to go to waterforddentalhealth.com. For more information, part of their commitment to serving patients includes providing them information to help make informed decisions about their needs. So go to waterforddentalhealth.com and find out useful and interesting information about your dental health. Casey O'Neill along with Colin Delaney. We're about to start the second half. 1-0 NFA on top. And I would say that, you know, where else would I want to be on a beautiful Wednesday night? Well, it is my 20th wedding anniversary, so happy anniversary, and thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to my lovely wife. And those of you that are in the booth, Colin has said 20 years. The fact that I'm still alive and upright and that you haven't buried me at this point, I think is probably, yeah, see, Colin's very, very surprised and impressed by that. So happy anniversary. Back here, we're about to start a half that interests me in this regard, right? I always love halftime adjustments. What does Waterford do differently, if anything, since they trail 1-0? And what does NFA do to make sure that they don't get complacent with a 1-0 lead, sitting back defensively?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the shape right now, I don't see any changes in either team's shape. It looks like there's still 5 at the back for NFA, and it looks like Waterford appears to be in kind of like a 4-2-3-1 that's going to morph into a 4-3-3 in the attack. I don't think they need to change too much in terms of their shape. It's more the stylistic part of their play. I think Waterford needs to create more chances through quicker transitions, varying their attack between that possession style attack and also some direct soccer. So for them, I think it's play the way you're playing, but can we transition quicker to catch NFA off guard? Because once again, they're just so stout defensively, it's hard to break through. And can they create more set piece chances? Because we know they're very, very dangerous. Waterford is on set piece chances. So if they can create some corner kicks and some restarts from dangerous areas, that could be really, really good too. And I think they need to match NFA's intensity. NFA has been first to a lot of balls today. So if they can match or surpass NFA's work ethic, that would be important for them to do. And then on the flip side of the ball case, I would say NFA, keep doing what they're doing. The 5 at the back seems to be working despite being one less player down in the midfield. They're really playing well through Fabry, and just continue to maintain the intensity, attack those flanks, and create some chances. So, I think really comes down to how Waterford changes their style opposed to NFA.
And the question always becomes, at what point do you change how you're going? And, right now, Waterford content to play the style that has gotten them here, the style they've been playing, because it's still plenty of time. At some point in the second half, though, if Waterford's still down 1-0, you're going to have to ask, is it time to make a change and change out what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here in the beginning of the second half. There's loads of time left in this game, down 1 goal. So I don't think you want to make drastic changes yet, but as the half wears on, if you don't see changes, you have to try to make small tweaks. It might be a situation where you're going to play more of a 4-3-3 across the board and kind of do away from the defensive 4-2-3-1 defensively and just kind of play 4-3-3 going forward. And if not, as it gets into the winning moments of the half, you just got to start playing super direct. But ultimately, if they don't play quicker, it's not going to matter. They're possessing the ball really well, but got to be first to those 50-50 balls.
Waterford with the throw on the near side, trying to get something where they can get players running on. They're so dangerous. Here comes a corner. Lancers have been so very good. See Dickinson standing off. They want to go in that direction. High to the middle, head ball. Ball bouncing around, always dangerous. In front. And can't clear it, but it goes off of a Lancer, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, so Cam Dickinson over there to give them another option, right? So that's another option. You play that ball to Cam, a little more negative. She can dribble the ball across the box and whip the ball in, or the person taking the kick themselves can whip that ball across. So there's always options, like I said. And by doing that, it keeps the defense guessing. Coach Gillia, is been around the game long enough and a great player in his own right, All-American out of, I think it was Bristol Eastern back in the day. He knows what he's doing, and he's got a lot of strategy he can, implement on this team here to make them effective and dangerous.
And we got a whistle. And it'll be NFA ball.
These are the fun games, right? 2 really quality teams, 2, well-coached teams on both sides. And it's just always fun to watch, and I think it's a treat to have these games, in the championship round of the ECC tournament.
Well, I think so often in these tournaments, you get one of the best teams in the final, and then a team that's playing really well that might not quite be as evenly matched with said team. It's a team that goes on a little streak, gets a little hot, and so sometimes you see a 5 or a 6 seed that's just playing well, and they go up against the 1 or 2 seed, and it's not a very competitive game. All respect to East Lyme and Bacon Academy, both of whom were very, very good teams this year and had, and played with these teams competitively. Waterford's been the best team in the league all year, and no one has been better than NFA over the last half of the year. And certainly you could say these are the 2 best teams. They're the 1 and the 2 seed. They're the 2 best teams. So it's really great to get not just a 1 and a 2 seed, but a 1 and a 2 seed that are so balanced and evenly matched, because now it's about coaching, execution of the players, the little things. Sometimes we get matchups where it's just overwhelming. One side just overwhelms the other. That's not going to happen tonight. Cross, and on the line, Sturm there for Waterford.
Yeah, there's just really no big holes, right? I mean, you have 2 great goalkeepers. You have, a balanced defense, a balanced midfield, a balanced attack, spreading the goals out amongst the team. So this is what we wanted in the final. This is not, a 100-game winner Texas Rangers against an 84-game winner Arizona Diamondbacks. No discredit to the Diamondbacks, but it's just a different situation, right? So, this is 2 quality, top-level teams vying for a championship at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great example, right? The Diamondbacks were not one of the best teams all year. They got in and they played the best in a short stretch. That's how tournaments are won. Tournaments are not about the best team winning. Tournaments are about the team playing the best in that particular stretch. This is a little different. You got 2 teams, and I think if these 2 teams were to play 10 times, we would probably see, 3 wins, and 6 ties. That's how evenly matched they are. And what I like most about it is that their brands of soccer are so different from one another.
That's interesting math, Casey.
Yeah, 3, 3, and 6. If they played 12 times, I'm retired. My math skills have gone downhill. And Waterford will have the goal kick as we creep now down towards the 32-minute mark here in the second half.
Yeah, NFA, definitely getting some chances early in the second half again, like we saw in the first half. Nothing super dangerous, but at least some shots near or on the frame. Not dangerous enough that the keepers can't handle, but once again, we're seeing a little bit more of that out of NFA starting out here in the early moments.
So speaking of the best teams and the teams playing the best, tomorrow night we will do the second night of our soccer back-to-backs, the boys soccer finals from Ledyard High School. And the Division II championship game, I think, is a matchup of the best team all year was Montville, winners of Division III, and they will be the number 1 seed, and St. Bernard's, who has been a fabulous team as well. Here's a through ball, getting there, and it's in for the goal!
There's that direct style soccer. Through ball up top, ran through it, off a foot. Goal for NFA.
Brooke Bowles. Well described, Colin, and she ran through, got the own rebound, and just banged it with enough force. 2-0 NFA, and now we'll find out if Waterford's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, Waterford down 2-0, against a stingy defense. They've got to try to find a way to be more direct. Get balls in just dangerous spots. Find balls away from the keeper, get balls down the flank, put balls in dangerous spots, get some set pieces in play, some corner kicks, and just be more aggressive going forward here. Because once again, lose by 3, lose by 2, you still lose. We want to try to find a way to get some attacking chances, because NFA is just really stout back there right now. They're just controlling the play despite being really a player down in the midfield with 5 at the back.
Bowles again, and that's knocked out of bounds by Ciosi. It'll be a throw-in for NFA.
But Casey, that's been the MO for NFA all season long. They just have that blue-collar work ethic. Once again, bring the lunch pail to work, the whole 9 yards, and that right there was a work ethic goal, right? That was a ball bouncing around, and I'm going to run through this ball, and it's going to come off some part of my body part, and hopefully finds a way in the back of the net, and she got it off her shin or her foot there. And, credit to the keeper coming off her line, but it's just that quick to the ball, 50-50 mentality.
Well, NFA has not lost a game in over a month. Their last loss was on September 30th to Massac. Since then, they have not lost a game. They tied a game versus this Waterford team, but have not lost since then. So, both of these teams have been playing very, very well. But again, everyone talked about, I think NFA was talked about maybe third or fourth in the conversation, and yet here they plugged along all year long.
Yeah, and they've given up 5 goals in like a month. So they're scoring goals by bunches. They're averaging probably 3 or 4 goals a match. You're looking at 5 goals, 1 goal, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. So you're looking at probably 3 goals per match here. They can score while keeping a clean sheet.
NFA seems to have a little bit of energy with that 2-0 lead. They're looking for more. Waterford's got to get the ball out of their defensive end and get it into some scoring opportunities, as they really have not had much.
But this Waterford team is well coached. Coach Gillia, for sure has ways to manage the situation. You coach for this in practice, right? The time in the clock, the score, on the scoreboard here. What do we do in those moments? How do we, change the style of our play to put ourselves in a better position? I wouldn't be surprised at all if you see, Montville find a way. Not Montville, excuse me. Waterford find a way to, get more involved in this game and be more dangerous.
Well, with 29 minutes remaining, I'm going to say they've got about 20 minutes to get one back. If they go under 10 minutes down 2, I think that's a lot to ask for. But 20 minutes is a lot of time to get one back. They can't give up another one, but they've got 20 minutes. If I were a coach, I'd break this down into smaller segments. Win these next 10 minutes, try to get a goal. Win the next 20 minutes, try to get a goal. And then with 9 minutes left, if I'm still down more than 1 goal, then we got to do something dramatic. But it's still a lot of time. And as big a lead as 2-0 is, 2-1 feels a lot different.
Yeah, no, and we talk about it a lot. It's the cliche, right? 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer because sometimes you're up 2-0, you have kind of this false sense of security, and you kind of maybe begin to mail it in a little bit. I'm not seeing that from NFA right now at all. There still has that high energy that we see before, but sometimes when you have that 2-goal lead, I got a pretty good cushion, I'm good to go. And all of a sudden 2-0 becomes 2-1, and then that could be a situation that can become more dire.
Well, we mentioned that score, and we had just talked about the boys' final tomorrow night. St. Bernard was down that same score, 2-0 to New London at half, and New London gave it away, if you will. St. Bernard's came storming back with 3 goals in the second half to win that game 3-2 to punch their ticket to the final against Montville, the Division II final. The Division I final should be a good one. East Lyme, who's been the best team in the conference and one of the best teams in the state all year long, has dominated the ECC. Had to play a really tough game to get into the finals. And they'll face no other than NFA, who was a surprise entry, so to speak, because everyone had kind of had, there's a good ball, loose, and Waterford hasn't cleared it yet. NFA putting the pressure on, and Bowles loses it out of bounds. It'll be goal kick. Everyone talked about, they thought it was a foregone conclusion, right? It was going to be East Lyme Ledgerd. East Lyme Ledgerd, let's pencil them in, East Lyme Ledgerd. And then, maybe Stonington, they're the old guard. Maybe, I can't count Stonington out. Maybe they could upset somebody. Well, it's not Ledgerd, it's not Stonington, and there's NFA going to be playing for an ECC championship tomorrow night.
Yeah, and while it might be surprising to some, it's probably not surprising to some of the coaches in the league. NFA's been playing good soccer down the stretch. They've got some good players. Louis Hawkins is one of the better players in the conference, bar none. They've got, big, strong center back and the Jenkins kid. So, they've got some good players. They don't have maybe some of the quality wins that East Lyme has, but certainly, when you put East Lyme and NFA on a field, it's always a good matchup.
So those are your Division II and I final matchups tomorrow night at Ledgerd, 4:30 and 7 o'clock. We'll have all the action for you live on game day, but here it's 2-0 NFA on top of the number 1 seeded Waterford Lancers, down to 26 minutes. So I said 16 more minutes from here is the mark that Waterford has to try to get one in. But we haven't seen them really mount much offense in the second half.
No, in the last few minutes here after that second goal, we've seen them, try to have moments where, they can put thing together. But I once again, credit NFA. They've just been so busy today. Busy on and around the ball, and just the work rate to win those balls has been incredible. And that's been the big difference from my standpoint. I think if Waterford was quicker to the balls, we might see more opportunities. But NFA and you hear it from the coaching staff on the sideline, right? That's not good enough. First of the ball, they're encouraging their team to really be, the best of the best when it comes to that work rate.
Here comes Fabry. Ball's at about 30 yards out. Low line drive and headed out from Waterford. Put back in and wide left.
Yeah, and Fabry, once again, we mentioned before, dual threat. She can deliver balls, but she's also scored some balls on the receiving end. I've seen her, like I mentioned before, bending balls on corner kicks, delivering balls from the outside, but I've also seen her get up in the air and fire some headers in the back of the net, too. 9 goals in the season, 7 of them coming from set pieces.
NFA keeping the pressure on. And that's going to go against Waterford. So NFA now is going to have a free kick in just outside the 18. And we're going to get a card on this one.
Yeah, I think the center official, Tom Scagliarini, just issued a yellow card.
But we've got an injured Wildcat. They're going to attend to her, and while they attend to her, we're going to take a quick break. It's 2-0 NFA. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8, the best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. .5 minutes here remaining in the Division I Girls Championship game of the ECC. NFA, the 2 seed, with a 2-0 lead on Waterford. The 1 seed, NFA, got goals from Haley Young and then a follow-up goal from Brooke Bowles. That's where the 2-0 lead comes from. We have an injured Wildcat player on the field. They're attending to her currently. We expect that situation will resolve itself shortly, and then we'll be back to the action here in the championship game. In the meantime, we'd like you to take a look at the Week 6 Grade 8 plays on Game Day. It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. Let's start with Killingly Soccer. Joseph Kaza makes the beautiful pass outside to John Fitzgibbons, cuts it in and goes, well, top left, short side. Nice 3-1 Killingly over St. Bees. Number 7, it's a family affair in Griswold. Luke Cassidy, 50 yards to Kyle Montigny with the dime, but anything you can do, I can do better. Younger brother Liam in the senior division, 60 yards to Stevie DeRose. The Cassidys can throw the football. At number 6, Molly Benson, Mercy Soccer versus North Haven. Takes the pass, couple of steps, 32 yards, no problem, the missile top shelf. At number 5, Griswold Volleyball. Well, Summer McLean, you're on a 9-serve streak. What can you do to top that? How about the old dig, kill? Oh, summertime in Griswold. At number 4, Matt Pirro, TRC. Platt Tech thinks, well, I'm going to scramble out here. I got a man down there. Let me just throw it up there. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, no. There's Matt Pirro. Well, what could go wrong from... He's got a whole caravan of Crusaders. May I escort you to the end zone, Mr. Pirro? Why, thank you, boys. Touchdown, TRC. At number 3, Logan Jenkins of NFA Soccer. How about this one? The header off the throw! Oh, what a beautiful goal and a throw to rival anything I've seen. Well, speaking of throws, how about at number 2, Ronan McNamara, game winner. Triple coverage, no problem. Nick Petrini will go up and grab it. East Lyme completes the comeback versus New London. But at number 1, well, Peyton Wallace. How about one-handed? Quinn Sumner said, I'm just going to put it up somewhere where Peyton can make a play, and OBJ is jealous. Wallace with the one-handed catch. Those are our Grade 8 plays of the week. Send us your great plays, and maybe you'll get in next week.
Greatness has no off-season.
Not if you want to get faster.
Not if you want to get stronger.
Not if you want to get better.
This is where it all begins.
This is our playground.
This is where we get ready. Where we get faster. Where we get stronger. Where we get better.
For game day.
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 Greatness on game day.
It's game day!
Hey, Reef.
Do I know you?
Be careful, Avery. Avery Mays, Waterford High School.
You gonna win again?
I don't know. I hope so. Are you?
I hope so too.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, New London running back Kentrell Witherspoon DeSources. 33 yards, breaking tackles. DeSources got horses, and he's in the end zone for the Whalers. At number 7, TRC linebacker Brian Lowe against Cheney Tech, scoops up the fumble, and he goes, well, low, into the end zone, touchdown. Hey, how about a free kick from Old Lime's Kate Walsh? Nothing free about this. It's costly, upper shelf goal. It's never too early for some basketball. Hey, Tyler Mangual to Amari Marshall, thunder. You know, one day, I'd like to be Soren Reef. I'd like to take the third snap of the game and go 55 yards as one of my 7 touchdowns, my 431 yards rushing. Reef is a beast. How about the most heads-up play of the week? I'm stopped. Brady Summit, maybe. Let me pitch it back to my quarterback. Jax Higgins says, I'm off to the races, and maybe I'm going to get bumped out here for 2, but we're going to score on the next play. Great play by the Lancers. Sometimes it just feels like you're cursed. Jamel Curse, running back Ledgerd, breaks it outside against Bacon Academy, shows the wheels, cuts it back inside for the 86-yard touchdown run. Colonels win. But at number 1, nothing better than a senior on senior night. Fitch Boys Soccer senior David Hogetto with the gorgeous cross to fellow senior Tate Gordon with the header from way downtown and a 3-1 win for the Falcons. That's your grade 8. Hey, send us your plays. Maybe you'll get next week's grade 8. It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Kanone Oharu. Old Lyme girls soccer versus Valley with the rainbow goal. 2-1 win for the Wildcats. At number 7, Francisco Alvarado, Wyndham freshman quarterback. Takes off against Waterford, and, let me make you miss right here, and let me go there, and drag you into the end zone. Touchdown, Whippets win, 27-7. What do you do when it's 3rd and long? You hand it to Kincaid Rubino. Griswold football speed, stiff arm, and off we go into the wild blue yonder. Touchdown, Griswold. Hey, let's bend it like Fabry. That's the name of the new movie, because that is sick. Bends it from the touchline, first of her 2 goals. Griffin Chapel, NFA boys soccer versus Bacon Academy, down 2-1, 19 seconds left, and a missile on the free kick. Well, how about Trent Pesci? Free kick? How about the PK save? Stud time for Killingly. On a rainy Saturday afternoon, Bacon Academy played Montville in the Mud Bowl. And he shall be crowned king. Jace King. Opening kickoff, and he gone. Soon they were called the Studs in the Mud. 61-0 Bobcats. But at number 1, Rosie Turbot, Lyman Hall girls soccer free kick 60 yards away. I can't reach, so let me use the bounce. Oh, how'd that get into the net? Those are our grade 8. Submit your clips, and maybe you can make next week's. So we are 24-47 remaining in the ballgame. 2-0 NFA on top of Waterford in the Division I Girls ECC Soccer Championship. We have an injured Wildcat player on the turf field. The ambulance has come out to assist in medical aid for the player. Her family is here and with her on the field, so we are not going to identify her simply because her family is here, and they're going to be taking good care of her, and the ambulance will be off the field shortly, and we expect to resume. So please enjoy continued videos from the archives here at of the game day, and we will be back as soon as the ambulance has cleared the field. It is 2-0 NFA in the Division I championship game of the ECC.
Championship hardware on the line Thursday afternoon at the Norwich Golf Course. 6-time champions East Lyme looking to defend their ECC cross-country title. Plenty of talented runners in the field looking to dethrone the Vikings.
We are from St. Bernard's and no one can be prouder, and if you cannot hear us, we'll shout a little louder.
A beautiful sunny afternoon in Norwich with a light breeze. Last year's individual champ, Waterford Junior Avery May, is out to the front of the pack at the start, along with Lyman Memorial senior Hazel DeLucia, who finished 5th last year. Fall colors starting to pop out on the golf course, and 4 minutes in, looks like it's shaping up to be a two-person race with DeLucia and Mays already putting considerable distance on the field.
I was just really happy to be here. I was really sick last year, so this just felt like a redemption race, and I knew I had to get out fast, and I just really was going to get out and see what I could do and just kind of redeem myself from last year.
At the 6-minute mark, DeLucia makes her move, heading up the notorious long hill on the golf course's 4th fairway, starting to put some separation between herself and Mays.
I did so many hills this summer, simply just to prepare for this race. Long hills, short hills, I needed to be ready because this hill ate me up last year, and I was going to be ready for that this year.
Those hill workouts seem to have paid off as DeLucia charges up one of the last inclines on the course, well ahead of the rest of the field. DeLucia coming down the stretch all by herself to the finish line.
When you crossed the finish line, it looked like you were a little overcome. Is that right, or not?
Like I said, I was sick last year, and I just, to prove to myself that I could do this, it felt really, really good.
Waiting at the finish line was mom, Stephanie Johnson DeLucia, the Class XL champion in 1992 and a member of NFA's 1995 New England Championship team, but who never won the ECC title.
My mom was one of the most amazing runners I've ever known. I'm so lucky that she's my mom, and I thank her every day for all the advice she gives me. She was just, it doesn't matter if she won ECCs or not, she was the best runner I've ever met.
Mays finished second.
Great job, Waterford. Great job.
Stonington's Peyton Vanderstreet took third. Ledyard's Ella Stevenson finished sixth with teammates Kate Littler in ninth and Josephine Withbrow in 10th, clinching the Colonel's first team title since 1989.
I came into it knowing we were the stronger team, but actually having to, everybody's got to do their job on race day, and everybody's got to have a good day, and anything can happen during a race, and you can only control what you can control. So I was nervous, of course, and everybody else was, but I knew we could do it, and we did.
As the injured NFA Wildcat player is taken off the field with 24:47 remaining in the Division I Girls Championship game, NFA on top. Let's talk for a second about what that does emotionally for NFA and what it does physically for the players who have been trying to keep warm and stay loose all this time, and the fact that we're going to start off with a free kick in a very dangerous spot for NFA.
Yeah, I think the free kick being NFA's ball helps them, right? I think the cold weather affects all the players, right, on and off, because you want to be respectful of the injured players, so you don't want to have warm-ups on the side and everything else. So they were out for a good probably 10 minutes, and that's, adrenaline, the sweat, that can become a problem. But I think the fact that it's NFA's ball on a free kick here kind of keeps them in the driver's seat, and hopefully we'll get back to some normal soccer pretty quick.
Fabry will have it for NFA at about 30 yards away. She's on the 20-yard line of the football field. She's dangerous from this distance. Sturm stands on her line for Waterford. And Fabry approaches, lets it fly. Low bouncing ball off the crossbar, and Waterford will clear. What a bouncing ball from Fabry.
Absolute missile to the far post there. 3 inches to the left, that ball's going to carry him off that post and go in. Just narrowly missing a goal here in the second half, putting potentially a 3-goal lead on Waterford. A lucky bounce for the Waterford Lancers.
Good ball in the middle. Shot. And a goal! 3-0 Wildcats. Colby gives lesson. Puts the goal in, 3-0 NFA.
So no drop-off from NFA after that delay in game with the injury to one of their players. Right back at it on the set piece. We know they're dangerous from those set pieces. Puts the ball in a good spot, and then ball right back down on the floor, and then right back in a dangerous spot, and buries that ball into the net to put them up 3-0 here in the ECC final.
Emotionally, NFA, when you have an injured player kicking off the field like that, you certainly want to rally. I'm sure to a girl, they would say that they're rallying for their injured teammate right now and want to, bring this one home for her. And the energy level is high right now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, we're not seeing much of a change at all. I mean, they are right back in the driver's seat again in the attacking end, after that goal and that Waterford kickoff. So, there's no drop off in what they're doing here. Still playing with a sweeper back here. But it appears that they're playing 4 in the back opposed to the 5 with a 3-goal lead here. Looks like that 3 at the back with the sweeper back. I think a 3-goal lead is a fairly good cushion they're comfortable with at this point in the game with about 20 minutes left to play.
NFA going back to that tie. So on the 5th of October, NFA tied Waterford 1-1. Since that date, 2-1 win over Ledgerd, 5-1 win over Valley, 1-0 win over Old Saybrook, 3-2 win in an epic final against Bacon Academy, a great game where they came out on top, 2-1 over East Lyme, 2-0 over Woodstock, 3-0 over Stonington, 3-0 over East Lyme, and here with a 3-0 lead on Waterford in the final. So since that tie, they have been lights out and have beaten a very difficult group of teams.
Yeah, and only giving up about 6 goals in a month and just going on a crazy winning streak here in dominant fashion, not really leaving any doubts that they're ready for the postseason, this NFA Wildcat team.
Waterford getting a little sloppy there, loses it out of bounds, and NFA will have a throw on the far side.
And as a coach, that's what you strive for, right? Get a little better every day with the effort towards trying to, peak at the right time. And it sounds like, and it looks like, NFA is really peaking at the right time as they head into, the state tournament next week.
And you have to wonder, because after that same tie to NFA, Waterford rebounded with a 2-0 win over Woodstock, which in hindsight's a very good win because Woodstock played great down the stretch. And off of that win off the Woodstock, they come out and they tie Morgan. A very good tie, as Morgan's a very solid team. And then they rip Bacon 2-0, 5-0 over St. Bernard's, 2-0 over Ledgerd, 5-0 over Fitch, 3-1 over Killingly. And then you have to ask yourself, how much did the double overtime game in the semifinals against Woodstock maybe just take a little starch out of this Waterford team? Maybe the legs were just a step slower than normal.
Well, up until this game, Casey, Waterford gave up 4 goals in the last month. 6 goals in the season. I mean, here it is, going to this game, and they've already, half of their goals in the season, 3 tonight. This is not a characteristic that is typical of a Waterford team, at this point in the season.
Speaks to the level of play NFA brought here into this one tonight.
Yeah, they've come with a plan, and they're executing it, almost flawlessly here against a really quality Waterford team.
Clock running as we are heading down to the 20-minute mark. Flicked on goal. NFA stands tall and clears it. Waterford really has not mounted much offense here in the second half. Now they're going, of course, over the top. And Bonig comes off her line to corral that one.
Yeah, Waterford just can't seem to connect enough passes to get the ball into those dangerous spots in the final third of the field. So they do need to play some of those bigger balls, maybe a little bit less towards the keeper here, because obviously she comes well off her line, but in a spot where they can run onto those balls, because obviously with 3 goals here in 20 minutes, that's a tall task, for any team, never mind a team playing against NFA.
Well, it starts, if you're Waterford, it starts with you got to get one. Get one and keep the pressure up and see if you can get two. Because if you can get two, you can at least, make it interesting. But right now, NFA has not shown any inclination towards giving up anything.
No signs of slowdown. They've had their foot in the gas from the first whistle, and it continues here, even after that, roughly 10-minute delay for the injury. So really, a credit to NFA. We talk a lot about, Waterford needs to do this and that, but you got to give a lot of credit to NFA and the way they're playing today. They came here with a mission, and they're trying to accomplish it, and they're doing it in quick fashion.
Bowles tries to center, and instead it'll be a corner for the Wildcats.
So they're opting not to put Jordan Fabry on this ball, who's a lefty, which would have been an in-swinger with that famous in-swinger against East Lyme this year, which she put in. But once again, she's also scored her share of goals on the set piece on the receiving end with headers.
So Tucker will take it. Emily Tucker, the senior. Should be an outswinger. There it goes in the middle. Waterford attempting to clear, can't do it yet. And a shot sails high.
They always seem to find a way, right? In those situations where the ball's bouncing around, it's a little bit of some guesswork. They always find the ball at their feet. Hard work brings good luck.
Haley Young, who scored earlier in the game, had another chance there. That one just sailed high. Bonig's played a very solid game in goal for NFA. Very steady.
You can still hear the coaching staff from NFA, despite being up 3-0, just constantly providing feedback, providing coaching strategies, providing enthusiasm. I mean, it's pervasive throughout this team, from the coaching staff to the players in the field to the players coming off the bench. It's just a culture they've created of just high energy and good work rate.
Clock ticking down with 16.5 minutes remaining. NFA in no hurry. And there's a bouncing ball, far post. Bowles makes a move, centers, head ball from Tabilas, just wide, goal kick for Waterford.
Yeah, they just continue to be dangerous in that final third of the field. They find ways, and as I mentioned before, they enjoy getting out in those flanks and whipping balls across the box. And that was a dangerous ball. Well defended by Waterford, but super dangerous if that ball gets through.
Sturm with the punt for Waterford. As we're down now to 15.5 minutes. Jessic. We're going to have a whistle. It'll be Waterford ball.
Waterford needs to use these kind of opportunities to get the ball forward right away, quickly, to create some chances here.
Jessic carries. Turns, plays it back through her defense. Ciosi. That goes off of Tiven, and it'll be NFA's throw. Tucker will throw it in for NFA. Tabilas passes it out. Fabry. Nice through ball again, far side. Young. And we'll get a corner on the far side for NFA.
Waterford continues to make good movement and possession, but they need to kind of be more possessive with a purpose here. Getting balls into those spaces, not just possessing for the sake of keeping the ball, but keeping the ball towards trying to find a way to get up the field. NFA on the flip side is possessing the ball in positive spaces. The ball's in behind, players running onto it, and that's creating more chances. So I think that's been one of the big difference makers here, aside from the work rate.
Corner, far side. Good ball, banged back out, and it will be an NFA throw. Again, NFA in no hurry.
No hurry, but certainly still with their foot in the gas.
Oh, beautiful touch from Fabry. Offsides. Or are we going to get a whistle?
It's going to be a whistle near the top of the 18. A foul.
So Fabry's going to have a chance at about 20 yards out, 25 yards out. This is always going to be fun, so watch here. What can Jordan Fabry do with a free kick from the 25 yards out? Ball sits on the 15-yard line of the football field.
Yeah, this is a dangerous distance for Waterford with the foot and the ball in Fabry's possession.
Fabry sails that one high. She was trying to bend it into the far corner, let it go a little high, and it'll be a goal kick for Waterford.
Yeah, you need to be super pacey when you're that close to get that ball to dip a bit to get near the goal, because you have a wall 10 yards away and then a goal 10 yards beyond that, so you need to put a lot of pace on that ball to bend it down. Give yourself a chance.
Dickinson. Jessic. Good fight in the middle there. Taken by NFA. Chloe Green. Bowles runs out of room, and it'll be Waterford throw as the clock's down to 11 and a half minutes.
We talked about it before, Case. Obviously as a coach, you want to come in and win these games, and you never want to leave a game, with regrets and so on and so forth. But always better to have had the opportunity to play in a championship game than to not at all, right? I would much rather be in a championship match and lose than never have a chance to play in that moment, in that opportunity. So regardless of the outcome here for Waterford, it's good experience as they head into the state tournament, so they can learn about what didn't go well today and prepare for the next opponent.
Bowles settles. Nice move from Young. Tucker put it back on, and Waterford will have a throw. Unlike Montville in the first game, where they were the 6th seed, 500 team, overachieving for a young team, probably a year too soon against a veteran Lyman team, the defending champions, and outpossessed Lyman, and probably has a lot of things they could take away from it. Waterford's going to come out of this a veteran team, the number 1 seed, playing great soccer, and they're going to have regrets. They're going to look at this and say, we did not bring our best game today. They're going to credit NFA, because NFA played great. This was not Waterford giving it away. NFA took it. NFA kept it. But Waterford's going to say, we have more in the tank than this, and this was not indicative of our best game. Dickinson sails it over the top.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we talked about it before. Montville had a lot more to take away from it. As a really inexperienced team, 1 senior in the team to I think 9 or 10 on the lineman side. Here you have an evenly matched side, similar number of seniors and veteran leadership, and as the number 1 seed, they want to come in here and host a trophy. Didn't happen tonight. With 9 minutes to play here, but certainly disappointing. But yeah, they didn't play well enough to win today, and to credit NFA as Waterford will, because they're a class team. They came to play today, and they really executed on all their chances.
In both of these teams, So on the NFA side of things, Tucker is a senior, Bowles is a senior, and Fabry's a senior. That's it. Considering that Podeswa is not in the lineup because of injury, Waterford not as senior laden as you might think. Smith's a senior, Ciosi and Arnold are seniors, and Jimenez is a senior. So Waterford not a senior laden team. They've got a couple more than NFA, but this group of Lancers has been playing together for a while, and I think next year will be, where they're on the spot, right back at it again. NFA is going to feel the same way. I mean, this could absolutely be a rematch next year.
No, for sure. I think they're similar, like 4 and 5 seniors on both sides here, but a talented junior class, and we've even seen some freshmen and sophomores make some good impacts. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if you see these two teams make a good run in the ECC and state tournament again next year. But once again, when you have the number 1 and number 2 seed, that's what you want to see in this game, and we had it. But I think you will see some regrets on Waterford's side not having their best day today against a pretty talented NFA team.
I'd say, when you have a game like this, both teams have, great players. Ciosi's, player of the year in the ECC, and Fabry, player of the year kind of player. And, these are, and Fabry has had the better of it today, through just, she hasn't put one in the net, but she's been involved in almost everything that has happened for NFA.
No, she's the motor. She's the engine that runs this team. She's the coach on the field. She's been around the game a long time. Great pedigree of athletes in her parents. Her sister plays Division I soccer at Quinnipiac. So, yeah, I mean, certainly she understands the game, and she's going to be involved in it. She doesn't have to put, her name in the stat line in order for NFA to be successful.
She's one of those players, which I love. There's players that fill up the stat sheets. She's the opposite in that she's a player that might not appear in some of the most prominent stats, yet affects a game tremendously without, looking at, she may not have the shots, the goals, the assists per se, but she's affecting the game in such a dramatic way because she makes every right choice. I've been so impressed with every time she's made a decision with the ball, it's been a good decision.
Yeah, for sure, and she leads by example with her mouth. She's communicating what needs to happen, but also by example. She is hustling and she is moving and she's making good decisions.
NFA throw. Six and a half minutes remaining in the ball game. 3-0 Wildcats.
Waterford just needs to get a shot on goal. They need to get something going here to have a takeaway from this game. They haven't had much on the goal at all.
And part of it has been really rock-solid play from Ava Bonig, the keeper for NFA. Talking about good decisions, she seems to have made, and that starts, remember, the first 2 saves that she made weren't saves because they ended up being whistled for offsides, but she didn't know that as she was coming off her line to make 2 brilliant saves right off the bat. So, since then, Waterford has not tested her as much, and she's made very good decisions.
Well, and you got to credit the back 5, not the back 4, but the back 5 in front of her. That's been a lockdown defensive unit all game long. It's really stifled any chance for Waterford to get anything going. Waterford's been pretty good about possessing the ball in the midfield, but just once they've gotten to that final third, they just can't break down the NFA defense.
Yeah, Leah Birchman in particular has been very, very solid here in her back position. Haley Iozia has been fabulous. We've talked about Avery Quisnell. The back group for NFA, rock solid. 5 minutes remaining in the ballgame.
Another one, good job.
That'll be an NFA ball. Emily Winton has been fabulous for the Wildcats as well. We're talking about their solid defensive group. Head ball, dangerous. That ball's, if there was someone far side, there's Bowles. One step and loses it wide. Brooke Bowles.
The number of balls that NFA gets on the end of throughout this match has just been really impressive. They just find a way on a throw-in, on a set piece, on an indirect or a direct, just to find their way to get on the end of it and create some opportunities. It's been really impressive to watch all night long.
Tucker will take the corner for NFA. Under 4 minutes remaining. 3-0 Wildcats. Officials.
Something with the clock, perhaps?
Gonna work something out with the clock. And the clock is gonna be reset here to
4:09, I believe.
4:09. That is correct. So Tucker with the corner.
Great ball.
Good job by Waterford pushing out. But that ball was very dangerous. Bowles. Wide. Goal kick, Waterford.
Just pouncing on every ball and taking every chance. I mean, they're not playing this game up 3-0. They're playing this game like it's a 0-0 contest. Just still wire-to-wire work rate from NFA.
Don't stand there, 9.
Just heading to the 3-minute mark here. 3-0 NFA here in the Division I final here on the campus of Montville High School.
If you're Waterford, what's the number one thing you're going to take away from this as you head into the state tournament?
Well, I think you need to look at it from the standpoint you're going to come across some teams that are going to make your job very difficult in their defensive end, your attacking end. You got to try to find a way to have a strategy to approach that, because you're the number 1 seed. You're 14-1-2 heading into the postseason. You're not going to be you're going to have a target on your back. Teams know you can score. Teams know you're stingy on defense. So what can you do if you're Coach Gillia and his staff to try to find ways to break down a tough defense, a park the bus kind of defense, with some depth in their back? There are teams out there that do play that sweeper back. What can we do to be more creative and quick on the attack? Because really that's part of it. And then how do we match or exceed someone's work rate? Because that was a big part of NFA's success today.
If you're NFA, what are you going to come away with after this?
Keep the ball rolling. I mean, they're getting better every day. I saw them play a pretty good East Lyme team the other day, and they kind of picked them apart. And today, a talented, Waterford team in the same situation. They're up 3-0 here with less than 2 minutes. So, I think it comes down to, this culture they've created of just a work rate and being first the ball and a physical approach to soccer. They got some talented players in their own right, but they find ways to win. And it's been really impressive to watch the physicality and the pace they play in. So from their standpoint, keep it rolling.
Well, as always, we're going to want you to find us on social media at Game Day CT after the game, and you'll see the post-game interviews with NFA head coach Taylor Shannon, as well as our player of the game. At the end of regulation here, in 1 minute and 20 seconds, we will sign off, but we will keep the cameras rolling so that you can see the trophy presentation and banner of the NFA Wildcats here as they're about to claim the Division I Girls Soccer Championship. And then, of course, we will have those interviews available on Game Day CT. Tomorrow night, 4:30 and 7 o'clock, we'll be at Ledyard High School for the boys' final. Montville St. Bernard at 4:30 and NFA East Lyme at 7 o'clock. One last chance heading in, but Sturm gets there ahead of Tabilis. 40 seconds remaining, and NFA is half a minute away from stamping just a absolute dominant performance here in the championship.
Yeah, and Waterford's got a lot to be proud of, right? It's one game here. They've got, another season ahead of them in this postseason here. They can make a run. So certainly some lessons to be learned, but they got to hold their head high. They've had a great season here in the ECC.
"10 seconds and counting. NFA seconds away from the Division I Girls Soccer Championship. And as the clock strikes 000, they all go to mob their junior keeper, Ava Bonig, the shutout. What a great defensive effort by the Wildcats. They are your Division I ECC Girls Soccer Champions. As I mentioned, stay tuned, and you can watch the no commentary, but the live stream of the trophy presentation, and then you're going to want to find us at Game Day CT on our social media platforms for interviews with head coach and the player of the game. And tomorrow night, 4:30 and 7 o'clock from Ledyard High School, we'll be back with the boys soccer championship. So for Colin Delaney, Peter Wappy, and the crew, thank you for joining us. Girls Soccer Championships live from Montville High School on Game Day, live on aday.com.
there because we have the same picture over here with the trophy and stuff. So, if I have the pure image as well.
Love this. I'm not going anywhere. I know, he's still a poison. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your 2023 ECC Girls Division I champions, NFA. And today's most outstanding player for the 2023 Girls Division I Championship game is number 23, Captain Jordan Silver.